Welcome to the deep dive. We're excited to get started on this personalized exploration just for you, the learner.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Today, we're diving into some pretty fascinating, sometimes kind of mysterious stuff. Magic and mysticism. We're pulling from excerpts of the complete Thelemic Libers.
Right, a big collection of key writings from the Thelemic system. It's quite a deep well.
Exactly. And our goal here is simple, really. We want to pull out the key ideas, maybe give you some aha moments, but without just drowning you in information.
Precisely. Because these texts, they cover a lot of ground. We're talking about consciousness, meditation, this concept of will, specific magical techniques.
Invocation, banishing, talismans, Eucharist.
Yeah, all that. Plus the true will idea, initiation, how magic relates to other things. It's really interconnected.
So our mission, if you will, for this deep dive.
Just basically to shed some light on the core ideas in these texts, give you a good foundation, hopefully spark some curiosity to, look further yourself.
Okay, let's start unpacking. One of the first things that really stood out to me was this idea about consciousness itself. How becoming aware of a mental process can actually stop it.
Yeah, that's a fascinating point. The text draws a parallel, doesn't it, to how our bodies usually just work?
Pretty like your heart beating or breathing, you don't think about it.
Exactly. But then if you really focus on your heartbeat, suddenly it feels different, maybe a bit off even.
Or like, when you're riding a bike, just doing it, and then you start thinking, okay, left foot, right foot, balance.
And you wobble. Yeah, it's that sudden self-consciousness disrupting the flow.
So the text uses this metaphor, the cowboy will.
Right, the cowboy will and the buckjumper mind. It's a great image for that struggle to control thoughts. They can be pretty wild, resistant.
Like trying to break a horse just by force.
Exactly. So maybe the insight isn't about brute force control, but more like understanding, guiding, working with the mind's nature like a skilled rider does.
That makes a lot more sense than just wrestling with it. It also mentions the duality in consciousness.
The seer and the seen, the knower and the known.
There's always that split, isn't there? Built right in.
And it challenges that common idea about the unconscious mind just being dormant or sleepy.
Oh, right. It suggests silence might actually mean it's working properly.
Yeah, like healthy organs working quietly, or deep, dreamless sleep. It's the noise, the symptom, that signals a problem, perhaps, not the quiet itself.
Huh. Interesting way to frame it. Then it touches on that classic tension, contemplative life versus active life.
Just briefly, yeah. Noting the need for, a careful balance.
Makes you think about how you juggle that yourself, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And that leads into talking about these, higher states of consciousness.
Vision of God, union with God, samadhi.
Those kinds of terms, yes. Emphasizing they're vastly different from our normal waking state. It even hints at a sort of secret source of energy, maybe behind genius.
And then it gets into the physical practices, asanas.
Right, mentioning the extreme postures some yogis hold, sometimes for incredibly long times.
But the text seems to lean towards something else, more moderate.
It seems so. It describes a kind of braced alertness, like a tiger about to spring. Not rigid, but intensely ready.
Okay, so intense, but maybe not frozen in place forever, and pushing through that initial discomfort barrier.
Exactly. Which brings us to the early stages of actually trying these mental disciplines. It admits it can be, frustrating.
You start off maybe amused by your thoughts wandering everywhere.
And then you start feeling like you're actually getting worse at it.
Oh, I definitely know that feeling. Learning anything new, right?
Totally. So it recommends formal practice, set time, posture, maybe a notebook, a watch.
But start small. Like 10 minutes max.
Yeah, don't overwhelm yourself. But what's striking is how hard even that can be. Maintaining focus for minutes, seconds, fractions of a second sometimes.
It mentions someone, Frieder P. Even after 6 months, his records showed the struggle.
It really underlines the dedication involved. It's not a quick fix.
And this practice, this effort, can lead to something called dhyana, meditation.
Yes, and it's described in pretty dramatic terms.
Yeah.
Vivid and catastrophic.
Wow, catastrophic. That sounds alarming.
Well, not necessarily bad, more like world-shattering, overwhelming, something that completely overturns your whole conception of things, even yourself.
Okay, catastrophic in the sense of radical change. And it argues you can't just brush that off as a hallucination.
Right. It's like trying to argue with lightning, the text says, or telling someone who just woke from a terrifyingly real nightmare that it wasn't really real.
The feeling, the conviction of its reality stays with you.
Precisely. And apparently with more experience, that conviction just becomes absolute. You know it's real. Eventually, entering dhyana might even become easier, less formal prep needed.
And Frater P's view, he saw it as a kind of storm.
Initially, yeah. A nervous storm that kind of clears the way for samadhi. It's a personal take on that intense process.
Okay, so shifting from the mind stuff, the text gets into the core principles of magic itself. And the definition is surprisingly practical.
It is, isn't it? The science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will.
And the example is just writing and publishing a book. That's magic.
According to that definition, yes. It's causing a change, book existing and being read, in conformity with your will, your intention to write and publish it.
Huh. Then there's this principle about true will.
Ah, yes. That if you're acting in line with your true will, your real purpose, your core nature, you somehow have the inertia of the universe backing you up.
Like swimming with the current instead of against it.
Exactly like that. It connects it to evolution, too. Being true to your nature while still adapting seems to be a pretty powerful strategy.
Getting in sync. And it emphasizes how interconnected everything is, consciousness, the universe, even if we don't see the links.
Which leads nicely into subjectivity, perception, and symbols, doesn't it?
Yeah, the idea that we never really know what things are, we just have symbols, representations.
Our senses only give us bits and pieces. Sight doesn't tell you if something's heavy. Touch doesn't tell you its exact chemical composition.
And our mind puts it together, but the picture's never complete. Or perfectly accurate.
It's a humbling idea.
Hmm.
Nothing is in itself what it seems to us. Really makes you question everyday assumptions.
Definitely. So building on that, it brings in magical formula and rituals.
Right. Noting that most rituals are pretty complex, layered, lots of different formulae working together, ideally in harmony.
Like the formula of the wand for invoking a principle.
Exactly. And it links these formula to hero myths. The pattern of the hero's journey winning the princess, the throne, is seen as a kind of formula for transformation.
Interesting parallel. And it stresses studying Kabbalah first.
Yes, as foundational work before attempting any serious practical magic. It provides the symbolic language and framework.
Then there's this word, AUMGN,
Explained as a word you utter to declare your personal work. It developed from AUM.
which represents creation, preservation, destruction,
Yeah.
the cosmic cycle.
Essentially, yes. The sound of the breath encompassing those principles.
Okay, changing tack slightly. Intuition and memory.
Right. It points out intuitions are subjective. They often need some kind of backup. Collateral security, as the text puts it.
But don't expect perfect, detailed recall either. That might mean you're just making it up.
Kind of, yeah. The example used is Crowley remembering being Sir Edward Kelly. That feeling might be strong, but it doesn't mean he'd suddenly know precise details about Krakow in James I's time.
The key is it shouldn't clash with known facts. Like, you can't have lived two overlapping lives.
Exactly. It needs some basic plausibility check.
Okay, now this is really interesting. How magical operations work. Or maybe how we should think about them working.
Yes. It suggests success doesn't necessarily rely on our usual ideas of cause and effect.
Like A causes B, which causes C.
Right. Instead, it proposes thinking of the whole sequence, the act, the intention, the result, as potentially just one single interconnected event.
The star analogy helps here.
It does. You see a star, there's clearly a connection. You don't need to understand all the physics of light travel in that moment to acknowledge the connection exists.
So apply that to magic. It's pointless to get stuck on why it worked or didn't.
Or even why you acted in the first place.
Yeah.
Our ability to figure out the deep mechanics is limited. We mostly see the surface.
This connects to the magical circle, right? The importance of getting the theory right.
Precisely. Because mistakes in your understanding, your theoretical setup, can actually mess with your own energy field, your aura.
And ruin the whole ceremony. The analogy was kind of funny.
The teetotaler in the Demon Rum Temple? Yeah, it paints a picture of energetic incompatibility.
And the example of astrology influencing where you stand in the circle.
During an evocation, yeah. It shows the level of symbolic detail. And that some spots, like Tiferet associated with balance, the sun are seen as more generally harmonious for the magician.
Then there's the number 11. Why 11?
It's presented as the number of magic itself, sacred to the new eon. And it's the number of letters in Abrahadabra.
And somehow 11 strokes can represent all possible operations. Through the Sephiroth.
Symbolically, yes. The 10 Sephiroth plus the unifying principle, perhaps.
Okay, now. Sacrifice. This sounds like a tricky area.
It is. The text flat out says the common understanding is based on error, superstition, it's unscientific.
And that the law of Thelema changes the whole viewpoint?
Right.
Yeah.
And it gives a strong warning. Don't mess with this kind of magic unless you really, really understand the formula of Horus.
And it mentions conservation of energy, like basic physics.
Yeah, exactly. Implying you can't just destroy things. Energy changes form. It underlines the seriousness.
But it does say sacrifice, and this other hinted at darker art, our supreme formula.
It does. Leaves you wondering about that other art, doesn't it?
Definitely. It then insists the laws on the astral plane are just as strict as physical ones.
Yeah, 2 + 2 = 4 no matter where you are, essentially. It uses practical examples, too.
Like shooting. Accuracy matters.
Right. Distance, skill, they all factor in. Maybe not the exact same laws as physics, like the inverse square law, but analogous ones. There are rules.
The thunderstorm example, too. You need the right conditions. You can't just magic rain out of a blue sky.
Or expect a talisman to work identically for everyone. Or on any scale, a farm is different from a city.
And even the master Therian faces limits when his will opposes, like, the whole world's direction.
It suggests even at high levels, you're still working within a larger system. Which brings us to the magical link.
The connection needed to make the magic actually reach its target.
Exactly. The Venus Empress example is clear. Invoking Venus is one thing, but you need something, a consecrated letter, her hair, whatever, to direct that Venus energy to her.
And you need the right kind of link for the goal.
Right. Trolling for salmon needs different gear than shooting a tiger with birdshot. A talisman has to fit the operation, and there has to be a way for its force to be applied.
The sinner example was pretty stark. Hating isn't the same as making a weapon and using it.
It illustrates the difference between passive feeling and active directed work. On the spirit level, it talks about magical manufacture of phantoms.
Like how minds connect in chess through the board and pieces. They're the link.
That's the analogy, yes. The physical setup enables a mental interaction.
And figuring out the right link for each situation can be tough.
It can be the crux of the operation. But then it broadens the scope against the wreck there. Anything can be a magical weapon.
A newspaper, a necklace, a pen.
Depending on the goal and how you use it, wooing someone needs a different approach than an astral attack. Finding a lost watch might involve advertising or calling the police different links for different situations.
It really expands the definition of magical act, so the text claims there's no real distinction between magic and meditation.
Fundamentally, no, just different angles. It touches on that idea of magic as will to live and mysticism as will to die.
But then says life and death are one anyway.
Exactly, undercutting the simple duality.
And invocation methods, it mentions mental ones like astral projection.
Right. Forming the body of light, rising on the planes to connect with a god's symbol, though advanced practitioners might travel more directly.
Which underlines the need for practice. The drill.
Absolutely. Daily practice, like rising on the planes, to get familiar with those spheres, their feeling, their meaning.
Does it have to be exhausting?
Not always, but pushing yourself is important when you're specifically training to develop that rising ability, making the body of light strong and responsive.
It's framed as character building, creating karma.
Yeah, developing yourself so your will has more power behind it.
Okay, how about divination? The text sounds skeptical, especially about astrologers.
Quite skeptical, yes. Warns most are ignorant. Suggests maybe just discarding it unless you feel a really strong pull. Notes the Master Therian used it cautiously.
And geomancy. Divination with points.
More mathematical, it says, but limited only 16 symbols. And even adepts disagree on it. Master Therian found interpretation tricky.
So the advice is basically, look within and be detached.
Pretty much. Deep self-exploration, don't be invested in the answer. And forget rigid rules for interpreting symbols. It comes from study like Kabbalah plus experience and intuition.
Moving to the Eucharist, it mentions a highest form with just one element.
Yes, neither two nor multiple. Defies easy categories. Its nature is kept secret.
Hidden somewhere in the Master Therian's writings for top initiates only.
That's the claim.
Yeah.
Equated with the great work itself, the altar, chalice, wand are all symbolic.
And initiation is compared to the Eucharist as a purification.
Exactly. Removing impurities from the perishable parasite, ordinary humanity, to find the immortal intelligence within.
The initiate becomes eternally individual, incorruptible, wise.
That's the ideal presented, like a talisman, an idea purified and intensified by the soul.
Alchemy gets linked in here too.
Yeah, the Master Therian felt his formula for magic explained and validated alchemy, extending chemistry to all kinds of change.
And the result is always the pure, perfect individual inherent in whatever you started with. the first matter.
That's the goal, yes. Revealing the essential nature.
Then, a point about the magician's dignity. Only a refined microcosm isn't equal to man.
Right. The proper study isn't lesser spirits, it's God. And hiring spirits, making pacts that's seen as beneath the magician's dignity. Exchange isn't the principle.
And interestingly, no spiritualist phenomena happened around Frater Perturabo or Master Therian.
So the text claims, suggesting initiation itself offers protection.
This leads back to foundational training being key. Teaching fancy techniques is useless if they don't fit your will.
Exactly. You need the basics, the drilling and the royal art first. Same for mysticism technique matters. Even if samadhi fades, the developed character, the brain elasticity remains.
Then we get a list of specific labors, the books, and their general topics.
LXX, CCXXX, DCCSATN, DCCCXX.
Yeah, pointers for further reading on formula, rituals, initiation.
And the GD grades. Golden Dawn.
Lists them from probationer to Dominus Luminus, mentioning the degrees and squares as special meanings.
Then the higher grades. Adeptus Exemptus, at a crossroads.
Right. Completed the main work, facing choices. Then Magister Templi, Master of the Temple. Guiding others, understanding the universe, Master of Samadhi.
That's the description. Liber 418 is mentioned in connection. Then comes the Magus.
Master of Magic. Free will creates a new universe based on their will. Master of Change.
Yes. And finally, Ipsissimus, who overcomes the three guardians.
What's the core attainment of the Magister Templi again?
Annihilation of the limiting personality. Mastery mysticism. Understanding the universe.
And the Magus's job.
Renouncing infinite bliss to engage with creation, learning its secrets, identifying with impersonal love. Big stuff.
But taking the oath for Master of the Temple is a huge deal. Big risks if you're not ready.
Very much so. Huge responsibility, severe penalties implied for the unworthy.
And the Adeptus Major, lower down, balancing passions.
Yes. Equilibration, fulfilling actions by their complement, inner silence while living the true will, and achieving knowledge and conversation of the Holy Guardian Angel is stated as a deeply personal, secret thing.
What qualities does an adept need? It lists quite a few.
Ease in the body of light. Invulnerability, skill with God forms, weapons, sigils, knowing names and numbers. Plus, alertness, sensitivity, authority, courtesy, patience, sympathy. A demanding list.
How about exploring the astral plane? 2 methods mentioned.
One is analyzing a physical object by evoking its astral counterpart using Kabbalah and magic keys. The other is directly rising in the body of light to the place you want to go.
Now, the misquotations from Liber Legis. Why point those out?
The text suggests they might be warnings against misquoting, or maybe hinting at inherent limitations in conveying the message. It's intriguing.
Then excerpts from the Attainment, Liber LXV, affirmations.
Of the bornless spirit, truth acting against evil, and that charge to the spirit commanding obedience.
And a specific ritual description. Returning to Tifrith Square, facing Bullskin.
Yes, using active pentagrams, mark of the beast, LVX signs, vibrating names, expanding the self symbol, offering the pearl of the soul to the angel. It's quite detailed.
How is this attainment interpreted?
The phenomena accompany it. Crucially, the angel is recognized as the true self, the subconscious core.
And the angel's words and breath are creative fire. Tifrith as sun, angel as spiritual sun.
Exactly. The whole process is about bringing the conditioned universe, our everyday self, to self-knowledge. The soul in the body-mind becomes aware of its divine inmate and partakes in that light consciousness. It's a generative formula.
We also get a peek at the correspondences table from Liber 777.
Just a sample, yeah. Showing links between Sephiroth, elements, planetary rulers, tree of life paths.
Yeah.
Like the flaming sword, root of air, first plane, middle pillar, a glimpse of that intricate system.
And the Gnostic Mass again. Here's the bread, here's the blood.
Bring me through midnight to the sun, save me from evil and from good. Powerful lines, plus the priest burning the cake, making proclamations.
Striking the bell 11 times, making a sign on the breast.
Ritual details that anchor the practice.
More specific actions. Raising the wand, tracing the mark of the beast, the invoking hexagram.
Lowering the wand, the Cymeter triumphans the text, describes the gesture in uttering Thelema. Very precise choreography.
Now the letters Esh and T, they're presented as verbs, forces.
Yes, formulae of force and action. She is the Holy Spirit tongue of fire, child of Set Isis, linked to Tarot XX, often judgment, related to Hebrew Yod. D is also the Holy Spirit, but maybe more active, Ra. Roaring lion, old serpent, twins of Set Isis, linked to Tarot Axis, often strength lust, related to Hebrew LF, impregnating the woman. In contrast them, mentions a monster, produced by T's action.
And combining them gives SHT, shin, and teth.
Right. Spirit and flesh combined, numerical value 31, same as LA and AL, which are crucial reversals in Thelema.
And SHT declares, all things are shadows of nothing, but justifies nothing by offering a way to participate.
That's the essence of it. A profound philosophical statement embedded in Kabbalistic numerology.
Then back to the true will. It's both determined and free.
Equations are its name, it says, bound by its own inherent law, but free within that.
And feeling restricted, feeling bondage, comes from not being able to read that will correctly.
Yeah. That's the idea. And perceiving things as evil comes from misinterpreting or acting against that will.
The text then really challenges our concepts of absolutes. Existence, motion, truth. They have no real meaning.
In an ultimate fixed sense, no. It uses the image of clutching at a straw for words like truth, a powerful metaphor for their slipperiness.
And the paradox. We say we know, but can't really define or possess knowledge.
Exactly. It points out that inherent contradiction in language and thought.
Then Aleph Zero possibilities. Infinite transformations possible any moment.
Suggesting our bewilderment might be because we're sensing a new dimension of thought.
Yes.
Its laws are the same, just bigger, extended.
Like radioactivity's impact on science. It didn't break physics, but expanded it.
Leading to a fuller understanding, revealing the universe as simpler at its core, light and life, with potential for self-realization.
And this connects to Hadith's omnipresence and the dawn of the eon with Iwaz uttering the law.
That's the link made, yes. A cosmic shift in understanding.
Then there's that strong statement about England and popish fraud.
Yes, a historically specific, quite forceful statement, reflecting a particular viewpoint on English history and potential future conflicts.
Switching back to practice, keep detailed records. Scientific, sincere, include emotions.
Absolutely crucial for tracking progress and avoiding self-deception. Treat it like a lab notebook.
And a simple tarot experiment for clairvoyance. Just try naming a card without looking.
A basic exercise to start developing that kind of sensitivity.
And a big reading list is suggested. Yi King, Tao Te King, Upanishads, Raja Yoga.
A really diverse range, encouraging a broad perspective.
The advice on rituals. Don't just copy, create your own based on understanding.
Yes, encourages personal engagement and creativity, not blind imitation.
And the purpose of all the ritual gear and actions.
Basically a complex mnemonic system. Aids to focus the mind intensely on the specific goal or idea.
Advanced instruction for rising on the planes. Go straight up. Perpendicularly.
Exactly, upwards. And keep going even past fatigue, even if figures appear. Don't get distracted.
And alternating active and passive states. Like a pendulum. Needs high intelligence to observe.
It's presented as an advanced awareness practice, yes. Observing the natural ebb and flow of inner energy.
What about when outward devotion stops? It's not stopping, but changing.
Into yearning, the text says, a transmutation. Allow that yearning to grow, even if it's painful. Don't force the outward stuff if the inner state is shifted.
Ideal love must have all qualities of love. Every member is the member of some God.
Meaning wholeness, integration, harmony is key, not extremes.
Because excess in any part becomes disease, like Othello's jealousy.
Precisely. Balance is crucial.
Pranayama, breath control from Liber E master cycles. Be cautious.
Yes, gradually increasing duration. And that initial sweat, rub it in. It's strengthening. Different from exertion sweat, yeah. That's the instruction.
And be wary of early practices seeming too easy. It might be an illusion.
Close analysis often dispels that initial feeling of, I've got this. Humility is needed.
Then this really advanced thing, backward thinking, for exempt adepts.
Not just listing things backward, but mentally re-experiencing them in reverse. Even sounds, like esro for horse, a profound mental discipline.
Maxims from Liber I Vel Manus. Magus speaks truth and sends illusion.
Paradoxical statements. Wisdom creates worlds. Speech ends in silence. He is first and last. Magus makes known via the Magister. The writing is a lamp. Deep stuff.
Mysteries of the grades. Magister teaches sorrow, Magus teaches change, Ipsissimus teaches selflessness, Pan.
Yes, and the Magus contemplates each infinitely, seeing sorrow as joy, change as stability, selflessness as self, transcending the concepts.
Daily adorations from Liber Upspeed. 4 times a day, specific directions, signs, hailings.
Sunrise, noon, sunset, midnight. A structured daily practice.
Liber Chief on self-discipline. Devise your own methods.
Yes, and mark betrayals of oaths with a razor cut. As a warning, keep records. A very strict form of self-monitoring. Constant vigilance over thought, ending with that paradox.
Thus bind thyself, and thou shalt be forever free.
A core concept in many mystical traditions.
And the Holy Grail and Lieberchief,
Yeah.
Vessel of Babylon, Scarlet Woman.
Yes, the instruction. Drain your lifeblood into her cup. Mingle with universal life. Hold nothing back. A symbol of complete surrender and union.
Then the core Thelema phrases again. Love is the law, love under will, do what thou wilt. And the OTO mention.
Reinforcing the central tenets and the publishing organization.
And Mars's message, a new sweet way. Do what thou wilt. Invoke Nuit.
Excerpts declaring the core message again, with that call to connect with the divine feminine aspect.
More selected verses from Liber Legis, emphasizing joy, beauty, strengths.
Yes, rejecting the outcast unfit according to its law. Living in ecstasy after death. Details about feasts.
For the prophet, the bride, writing the book, rituals, equinoxes, elements, life, death, daily joy.
The whole calendar and life philosophy embedded there. Exhortations to strike hard. The speaker is Lord of Thebes, speaker for men too, invoking Rahor Quit.
The secret door to establish the way, the prophet Ankaf Nakansu.
And those warnings again about studying the book, ending with the core laws repeated.
Then a note about Crowley himself. Later in life, he neglected poetry and magic, only continued magic by making it automatic.
Interesting biographical detail, suggesting a shift in his own engagement, needing to remove his personal ideas.
We get some background on Frater Perturabo, early life, Bible focus, Cambridge.
Initial interest in diplomacy, then the trance leading him to alchemy and magic, his correspondence with Waite.
And the story of him questioning W, the priestess, about Horus.
Her identifying force and fire, the deep blue light, his skepticism turning to obedience. A key moment in the narrative.
And the stele of Ankh-Fen Khonsu in Cairo, number 666, Horus with red disc, green uraeus.
A specific artifact linked to the story.
The equinox consecration ritual. Lots of symbolic pairing.
Light darkness, east-west, air, water, heat, cold, south-north, fire, earth. Roles like creator, preserver, destroyer, redeemer, reconciler invoked. Very structured.
Hebrew letters. Yod, he corresponding to Y, hidden meaning.
A hint. And the Masonic third deed word linked to 93, but kept secret.
Then number crunching with Hebrew letters. Shin, Teth, Aleph, Lamed, etc. 395 reversed to 593. 31 and 93 again.
Examples of the Kabbalistic gematria used within the system.
Interpretation points on Liber Legis. Us means those who accept the law.
That's the suggested reading.
Yeah.
And noting the shifts in voice. General, personal to the scribe, third person.
How is Liber Legis proven authentic according to this? 2 ways.
Internal witness recognizing Aiwaz's authorship. And external events making coincidence unbelievable.
Cryptography, 31, 93, 418, 666p for the first, concurrence of circumstance for the second.
Those are the examples given, yes.
The Oath of the Enchantment, 11-fold seal, more ritual detail.
Facing Boleskine, battery hand gestures, circle crying NUIT, downward gesture, averse pentagrams for earth water, crying Therian, the sign for specific actions.
Then the advice to contemplate unpleasant things, crime, folly, sickness, without fear or aversion.
Yes, to understand and overcome them, like anatomists studying bodies. A call for radical acceptance and inquiry.
And morality is just confused conventions, based on convenience or craft.
A pretty radical dismissal of conventional ethics.
The true will, again, now is a parabola, bound by law, yet infinite changing direction.
An initiate can check their conduct against their curve's determinants. A mathematical metaphor for one's unique path, likened also to the inscrutable cone.
Beholding the formless fire, trembling, bewilderment first.
But prolonged meditation resolves it into symbols, utterances. The fire reveals your own image, your true name. A peak mystical experience.
The magic of the beast, purpose is to destroy discrimination. Embrace every image because all is Isis.
Yes, but also intimacy requires fitness. Air breathers don't breathe water. So understanding boundaries too.
Mastery comes by measure, understanding and prevailing against surroundings.
Do so. And sin is restriction. Seek righteousness by inquiring into iniquity. Again, challenging conventional views.
Then some quick terminology notes. Thelema, Agape, AMGN.
VOOVAO related to IAO. Aeon sometimes means Tarot XX, Sephron Smoothia reference. The SHT glyph, the ALI. 22 illusion about non-discrimination. Aleph null is smallest infinite set. Just quick clarifications.
Elementary magical training essentials. Assumption of God forms, vibrations, banishing, invoking. Master these first.
Crucial foundational work before riskier stuff.
Right.
Assumption practice described. Get familiar with Egyptian god images, paint them, imagine identifying with them.
Signs of grades. 1 degrees, 10 degrees is earth sign.
Right. And the lesser ritual of the hexagram, performed after the pentagram ritual. Details given. INRI, Virgo Isis, Scorpio Apophis, Sol Osiris, IAO Cry, Signs of Osiris Slain, and Morning of Isis.
Using hexagrams for planets? Lunar for nodes, reversing to banish?
Yes, using conjurations with Erida and the god's name, specific techniques.
Instructions from Liber O practice till figures appear like flame, but don't try to make actual fire.
Right, it's about visualization intensity, and warnings about astral deceptions test beings with pentagrams. Practice makes you wary.
Example for returning to the body. Chariot of fire.
A suggested visualization, yes.
Osiris risen linked to the pentagram.
A key symbolic connection. Resurrection and the five-pointed star.
Liber I's oaths. Passionate expressions of love, yearning for God. Silence, union.
Very devotional language in those excerpts.
Liber liberi velapidis lazuli. Verses with powerful imagery. Transformation, divine encounter, cosmic stuff.
Very potent mystical poetry fragments.
Attaining the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel, the big one, requires intense prep.
9 days. Special room, lamp, altar, reading conjuration prayers. Detailed ritual framework.
And the experience. 12th day, sunrise. Light, perfume, the angel appears.
That's the described culmination of the Abramelin operation, essentially.
Yogic postures from Liber E, the thunderbolt pose described.
An instruction to analyze and record everything. Duration, pain, rigidity, meticulous self-observation.
More recommended study in Liber E, looking for fundamental harmony in diverse works.
Encouraging synthesis and seeing connections.
And again, the written record is vital. Check against error.
A constant refrain. Document everything.
Practices from New Sokics, Kiss of Nuit, Giving Dust. Preparing a love song of rapture.
Intriguing, somewhat esoteric practices mentioned.
Liber New Summary. Understand Nuit Hadit. Meditate on Hadith, the one, N+, Adamen, Crumnophobia, ethical practices. Kether view, reverence for order, abolish human will, exercise true will, devote to Nuit.
A concise summary of necessary comprehensions, meditations, and ethical conduct according to that text.
A curriculum snippet. Philosophist controls census sheaths. Mahasatipasana, action control, cuts wand. Practicus controls thought. Raja Yoga understands initiation, meditates on knowledge power.
Outlines the focus for those specific grades in the order.
Gnostic Mass again, Liber XV. Priest invokes secret of secrets. Deacon calls for joy, beauty, and rituals. Lists feasts again.
More context for that central ceremony.
Consecration of elements described. Priest makes crosses on host cup, touches with lance, recites the Greek phrases for this is my body, this is the cup of my blood, covenant of resurrection mentioned.
Key liturgical moments detailed.
Liber de nuptis. Secret marriages of gods with men, biblical references, Sabbath of adepts.
Black hours, gatherings, dancing, strange suppers, calling Pan, Bacchus, Baphomet, Babylon, Zeus Apollo. Rite of marriage. Very evocative imagery.
Threefold work of adepts. Union through devotion. Accepting devotion from lower beings for their redemption. Deliberately creating new orders of being.
A high-level description of advanced magical work, calling spirits with Enochian keys, caution for novices.
Liber septum, regum sanctorum, 7 holy kings, aspirant passes through, takes seat. Symbolic conquest.
Represents a gradual attainment of powers, yes.
Libre balance. No sect and true religion. Don't blaspheme others' gods. Ask, seek, knock.
Principles of tolerance and active seeking.
Liber XXX1, Diary of OIVIO, resignation from OTO, entering Tao attainment.
Personal reflections on spiritual progress. Conversation with Therian about past lives, true self. Understanding the mysteries. Sorrow 8, change 9, selflessness 10.
Interpretation of AL, nothing, and LA, not, Kither Chakma. Above the abyss, truth is its own opposite.
Deep Kabbalistic and philosophical points from that diary.
Commentary on Liber Legis. Hadith as being not, Nuit plus Hadith. Numbers 9, fools, 8 and 1, just, related to Hadith as ALOA, 4:18.
More layers of interpretation. Chapter 3's character, RHK, as offspring. Importance of letters positions. Reversal of ALA and silent breath. A left tongue teeth shin link. Symbolism of LALA, ALA, LALA.
OIVI's mind reversing during initiation, leading to ALP, one and none.
A fascinating description of an initiation experience leading to non-dual understanding.
External worship separated from internal truth due to human weakness.
But masters watch for those who can receive light, employ them to spread it. External religions symbolically represent inner truths.
NOx signs listed with their grades.
Symbolic gestures marking stages of progress.
Dire warnings linked to the four powers of the Sphinx.
Suggesting trials or texts related to knowing, willing, daring, and keeping silent.
Kabbalistic worlds mapping. Atsulith to Kether, Braya to Chakmabina.
A specific interpretive model noted.
Formula the Rosy Cross mentioned, regarding blood sacrifice, guarding secrets, warning about misunderstanding.
Handle with care implies deep and potentially misinterpreted symbolism.
The funny anecdote about Japan? Kwa and Jujum, reverse time.
A bit of light relief, perhaps illustrating paradox or instability.
Eliphas Levi's introduction to Dogme et Rituel, his exempt adept thesis. Contrasted with major adept thesis.
Levi recognizing contradiction, separating planes practically. Subtle irony, baffled weight. An insight into Levi's complex writing.
Finally, natural religion as innate need for belief, opposes clipping beliefs.
Essence of religion is mystery. Faith starts in the unknown. Doubt is the enemy, affirming divine intervention.
Reason wants to direct faith, but should science or civil power have authority over it?
Questions the limits of rationalism and external authority in matters of inner belief.
Wow, that was a lot. We've really journeyed through a huge landscape here.
Definitely. From consciousness will, specific practices in magic and meditation, to the symbolic language used for these really deep inner experiences.
And like you said, these excerpts are just glimpses into something much bigger, much more complex.
Absolutely. Layers upon layers.
So, for you, the learner, maybe a final thought to chew on. How might these ideas, focused intention, understanding underlying forces, the things discussed as magic, relate to just everyday life? Achieving goals, navigating things.
Yeah, are there magical links, those connections and influences that you might be overlooking in your own life, your own projects?
Something to ponder. This deep dive really is just scratching the surface.
We definitely encourage you to explore more if this sparked your interest. Look into the sources, the reading lists, continue your own quest. It's a fascinating area.